Today's reading is the third week in Advent, and it's Thursday or day 5. It's called The Shoepolish Boy, and this is from the Handel's Messiah Advent Reader by Donna Payne and Fran Lenzo. And here's the picture that's featured in the book of a shoe polish boy touting for business. Then shall the eyes of the blind be opened and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb shall sing, based on Isaiah 35, verses 5 through 6. The boy Charles was only 12 years old when his parents sent him to work in the shoe polish factory. Blacking, they called it back then, black shoe polish for shoes. The factory where Charles worked was black too. It was dark and dirty, falling apart. The big old gray rats squeaked and scuffled and ran all over the floor while Charles worked with the other children. That was London in 1824, when children from poor families often worked all day to get money for food. Soon after Charles started working, his father was put in jail for not paying his bills. The family needed the 6 shillings a week that Charles earned at the shoe polish factory. It was less than $1 in American money, but it would buy him at least 1 meal a day to help with expenses. It was Charles' job to package the pots of paste blacking. He wrapped each jar in oil paper and then in blue paper. He tied them with string and neatly cut the edges off the paper. Finally, he stuck the company label on top. One of the other boys, an orphan named Bob Fagin, showed Charles how to tie the string around each jar and knot it. Charles did his work pot by pot, hour by hour, day after day. He was miserable. The other boys saw that there was something special about Charles. They called him the young gentleman, but his own dreams of becoming a learned and distinguished man were crushed. Charles was wrong about his future. He did grow up to be a distinguished man. Although he became a famous author, he never forgot the blacking factory. Much later, he wrote of that time, saying, "No words can express the secret agony of my soul." Dickens used the memory of the hard times from his childhood to write his novels. Sometimes he even gave his characters the names or personalities of people from the past. One story is about an orphan named Oliver Twist. In that book, the ringleader of the gang of pickpocketers was called Fagin, named after Bob Fagin, the boy at the blacking factory. Dickens also wrote the very first Christmas book. He called it A Christmas Carol. He finished it in just 6 weeks, just in time for Christmas of 1943. It was published in red and gold with hand-colored drawings and golden edges. I would love to get a copy of that book. My goodness, that would be a treasure. I love that particular story. It was the bestseller. It was a bestseller from the start and has been popular ever since. Scrooge and Tiny Tim and the Ghosts of Christmas keep showing up in movies and on televisions and even in cartoons and comic books. Dickens' Christmas story is about 2 kinds of people. Scrooge is rich and healthy, but his heart is sick with meanness and greed. Tiny Tim cannot talk, but his spirit is strong and loving. It is Tiny Tim who knows the true meaning of Christmas right from the beginning. In one part of the story, Tim rides home from Christmas services on his dad's shoulder. The boy tells his father that he hopes the church people will notice his crippled leg because, he says, it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day, who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. There is an opera called Amal and the Night Visitors, and it's about the three wise men who stop at this house on their way to see the King of the Jews, the baby. And the boy is crippled and he gets healed in the opera. And it's about what a special baby that baby must be to allow him to be healed. So it's a beautiful one if you ever get a chance to see it. Tiny Tim's words are a reminder that when Jesus was on earth, he healed the sick and the handicapped and the brokenhearted. This part of Jesus' ministry was prophesied in the verses from the Old Testament that we read today. The one who healed in Israel long ago is still our healer today. The verses promise that someday God will heal his people, body and soul. The blind will see and the deaf will hear. Those who cannot walk will jump high like the deer, and those who cannot speak will be able to sing. Jesus did not come to Bethlehem just to fix broken bodies. He came to redeem our sick hearts. He came for the selfish, miserly, mean-hearted Scrooges. He came to a world crippled by sin. The baby of Bethlehem grew up to be the man of Calvary. There he took upon himself the sin and sorrow and sicknesses of all humanity. There he offered to all the gift of healing. No Christmas gift, however wonderful, can satisfy a broken heart, heal a suffering body, or change a simple life. Only Jesus, in his gifts of salvation, offers that promise, hope, and help for our present sorrows and perfect life, health, and pure joy one day in heaven.